Hi Aaron, Tom McCouber here at Prime Mercedes. I want to put a video delivery together for you on your new 2021 GLA 250. I'm going to go over all of the interior features and buttons and kind of go through essentially everything that I would if you were here when you take delivery, so that way you can do the same thing at home and have a reference back to the delivery where I'm not going to be there. So first I'm going to have you guys come over here and show you everything on the driver's side door and steering column. So we'll start there. Alright, starting on the driver's side door here, we have our seat controls. So seat controls, you just push the seat in whichever direction you want it to go in, and the seat will respond. Same thing here. And then you have your memories. So if you want to set a memory, you just hit M and then 1, M2, M3. If you want to overwrite a memory, just right back, hit M1 again, or M whatever, and it will overwrite whatever you just put there. In front of our seat controls, we do have heated and then ventilated seats. So when you turn it on, it'll be 3 bars. Every push gets rid of one of the bars. Same thing on ventilated, back down to 0. Below the seating controls, you have your door locks, lock and unlock. On the door pull part of the door panel here, we have our window controls as well as mirror controls. So your 4 windows, window locks, your 2 mirrors, left and right. The center will actually fold your mirrors in and back out. And then the directions. So if you want to move the right mirror, you click it, so you have the red light, and then you have your directions. Underneath is actually the lift gate. So when you pull on that, the lift gate will rise. If the car is on, if you push it, it will actually lower the lift gate. If the car is off, it will not lower it. You do have to go back and hit the button or use your key fob to do that. Moving on to the driver's side door side of the dashboard and steering column. Up first, right here, we have our parking brake. So to set the parking brake, we push in. To release it, we pull out like that. Pull out further, but we'll leave it set for right this second. Then we have our lights. Right now we have it on auto. So as it gets darker, it'll just come on. If you just want to turn your lights on, you turn it to the right. And then if you wanted to turn just your parking lights on, you turn it to the left. The next 2 are European parking lights. So you'll see there's an arrow to either the right or the left. Whichever side you have that on turns on that half of the vehicle's parking lights. So either the left marker right lights or the right marker lights. Either one. So that's what all the way to the left does. And then we have our front and rear fog lights. And then the brightness of our dashboard up here. So this little roller here controls that. Then on the side of the steering column here, you have your heated steering wheel. So you press forward, you'll see the red light come on. You'll also get a notification up in your dashboard saying the heated steering wheel is on. Pull back towards you, turns it off. Then the the blinker stalk on the left side of the steering column has your windshield wipers. So all the way down is off. 1 click up is automatic. The next one up is another speed of automatic. It's a faster speed. And then the next 2 are just traditional on and fast wipers. This button right here, you'll notice that there's 2 arrows on top of the blinker switch. That means there is a step in between right here where just the wipers are going, and if I press that further, it'll actually start to spray. I don't want to do that, given your car is nice and clean, and I'll get sprayed, so we're not going to spray it, but just press it in further. That's with the 2 arrows. It's just a little step in between showing 1 will actually just wipe the windshield, 2 will spray. Right on the front, we have controls for the rear wiper. So if we hit this side, we'll see that you get your icon in the dashboard here that your rear wiper is on. You hit it again, that turns off. You hit the left side of that button, it'll actually spray the rear windshield. Then obviously this is also the blinker stock, so you've got your right and left blinkers. And then away from you is high beams. So if you push it away, it'll turn the high beams on. You do have the lighting package in here, so your high beams are automatic. If you do have them in automatic and you just want to turn your high beams on, you turn your high beams, turn your lights on to the right, and then push them on, and your high beams will just come on, override the automatic settings. If you just want to flash your high beams, pull this stock towards you and it will actually flash them. So that covers everything on from the door to the left side of the steering column. We're going to get in the car now and I'll go over the steering wheel and then everything in the center there. The left side of the steering wheel, we're going to cover that one first. To start with, right behind the steering wheel, you have your paddle shifters. The left side is shift down a gear. Right side is up. Probably not going to use those all that much, but they are there, and they do have a plus and minus sign on them. So if you ever do want to use them, that's what those two buttons do, or those two paddles do. So then the left side of the actual steering wheel itself, you've got 6 buttons essentially. So the first button and the second button control the dashboard in front of you. The first button is a home and back key. The second one is actually a mouse pad and button. So I use this to swipe up and down, and I can change the center display there. Or I can swipe it to the right, change this one over here to a couple different gauges. Or if I swipe to the left, I can change this gauge by swiping up and down. The third thing I can do, fourth thing, I can actually hit the home button, and then it gives me all these options. And what this does is allows me to display things in the middle. It essentially changes whatever this menu is in the center here. So now that I put navigation there, I can swipe up or down, and I can either have direction of travel or a small map. With the small map, I get a small navigation map in the center there, or exactly that, previous destinations and direction of travel. If I hit that and go over to radio, I'll get the radio, whatever station we're on, and we can change stations just by swiping up and down. And I want to mute the radio so we don't hear that, but so on and so forth. We do media. The other menus that are in here are phone, driver's assistance, like options you can turn off and on from right here. Also do it from the center, but you can change the whole design here just by going to designs, and we're on classic, but you do have other ones, and you'll see we click that, it changes the whole theme. But we will leave it on classic for now, just by going there. The last thing that is important to know how to use is your heads-up display. So when you go from your main menu here, if you click the home button and swipe up, you'll see that there's a thing that says heads-up display and a little arrow going up. So swipe up again, and I know from the seat you're sitting in you can't really see it, but up here on the windshield is your heads-up display. And now, because I swiped up twice, I have the ability to change what I see in the 3 sections of my heads-up display. And then there is a power button all the way to the left in the heads-up, and a settings button all the way to the right in the heads-up display. This will make more sense once you see it, and if you have questions, please feel free to give me a call. I can walk you through that. But you can definitely change some options in here right from your steering wheel up there. Another way to turn off the heads-up display is using voice command. Just ask it to turn by saying, "Hey Mercedes." You can then turn off the heads-up display just like that. These next 4 buttons on the left side are all cruise control buttons. All right, so this button to the right of the trackpad is the Distronic on-off switch, essentially. So your cruise control. That's how you turn it on. When you turn it on, you do get a little display up there telling you it's on. And then the button below it is your following distance to the car in front of you. So if you press this button up, you get closer. Press it away or down, you go further away. There's 4 settings, I believe, and there's bars that show up here how close or far away you are. The one to the left is set or plus or minus, so you can, once you set this, the speed you want to go, you just hit the button up or down, it'll set the speed. And then if you want to change the speed you're going, you can either just press it up or down, same way, and it will increase or decrease your speed by 1 mile an hour or 5 mile an hour jumps, depending on how hard you press that button up or down. Then you have resume and cancel. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy to use. The other thing, so this is how you adjust the steering wheel. This little clamp here, pull it out, push that down, and you can pull it out. Telescopes in and out and up and down. So the other things there are, you have lane tracking and steering assist. So that's what those 2 icons are. So once you turn this on and you have a speed set, those will light up, or the steering wheel. And then if you get out of your lane or anything like that, it will tell you, it'll buzz and then actively tell you you're getting out of your lane. The right side of the steering wheel is all tied into the MBUX system. So you've got 4 ways to control the MBUX system, which is the trackpad on your steering wheel, the touch screen here, mouse pad down here, trackpad, and then the 4th way is by using voice commands. So first we're going to use it right up here on the steering wheel. So you've got a home and back button that are separate on the right side, and then a trackpad up here. So to hook up a phone, very, very simple. We just go to the phone, hit connect device, and depending on if you have a iPhone or Android, go to wherever your Bluetooth is. It's usually in settings, and then once you hit connect device, your device should show up in here, and just follow the on-screen instructions. Usually takes less than a minute, and you can hook up to 2 phones. Then we have navigation. Again, navigation relatively straightforward. Just type in, when you hit where to, just type in an address. Make sure the state that you're going to is correct. So right now we're in Maine, so it says ME. If you're in California, Oregon, wherever you guys are, you can just change that right there. And then you also have points of interest, stuff like that, that it will help you search for. So again, super straightforward. Radio, another thing on this one is how to change your radio bands. So Sirius, AM, and FM are all right at the top, so super simple. To set a favorite radio station, all we have to do is hit any of these pluses and it will put it right there. If you want to get rid of it, press and hold, and then you hit delete. You can also move it from that menu, but you've got a bunch of different favorites, and you can mix and match Sirius, AM, FM all together on this menu down here. And we go back. Media, as soon as you have your phone hooked up, if you go into here, it will then pull your media from your phone if you would like it to. It doesn't automatically do it. You do have to click that button, and then once you do it once, you won't have to do it again. You do have Apple CarPlay in here as well, so, and Android Auto. So if you're more comfortable with using those, all you have to do is plug into a port down in the center console right here. But back up to the MBUX screen, we have our comfort menu, which is seat kinetics, which just kind of slightly moves your seat around, keeping you alert and a little bit more comfortable while driving long distances. And then our ambient lighting, so the way to change our ambient lighting colors, all right through here, as well as brightnesses. If you hit this, you have a multicolor option, which gives you a couple different already set up colorways. And then if we hit turn that off, we actually have a color wheel with 64 different colors. And then there's a couple other menus that are all turned on that you can kind of play around with, which are really fun. Then we just have vehicle info, apps, which I will set up for you, your Mercedes Me Connect app, and then settings all the way at the end. And this is just time settings, and this is how you shut off and turn on a lot of your assistance, as far as your lane tracking, steering, parking sensors, heads-up display, electronic stability programming, and hill descent. So we'll kind of get into that stuff a little bit later. Again, back to the steering wheel. So that's what these 3 buttons right here just control, that whole screen up there. Then the next 3 buttons, the first one is just a rocker style switch, so you can go up and activate your voice command, or if you hit down, it'll bring you to your favorites menu. Favorites menu, you can set these to be a bunch of different things. All you do is go down to create favorite, and it will put it in this menu. Then the next one is for the radio volume. So if you roll up, it's just a roller. If you roll up, it will turn it up. Down is down, and if you press it, it mutes. Then the last one is for your radio. Just up and down, just answer and hang up. And that's all the buttons on the steering wheel. Then we have our upshift paddle for the manual gear select right here. Then we have our gear selector, which is put on the brake. All the way down is drive, all the way up is reverse. Press is park. We've got our start button. This is for automatic stop start. So if you don't like it stopping at the engine turning off at red lights, hit this button, turns off. It'll actually tell you over here that it's off. Below the MBUX system screen in the vents, you have all your climate controls. So we have dual zone climate control here. So as you can see, just up, temperature goes up, down, temperature goes down. First button is for visual representation up in your MBUX screen. So when you hit that button, you get all of your, essentially all the same controls that are down here, up here. The only thing that this one does add is direction of airflow. So if you want to change the direction, you just hit the menu button, go there. If you hit auto, it does change automatically where the air is going, as you can see. But as soon as you turn that off, that's where you get your different options. So the next one is fan speed. Then the auto button, like we just described. The max defrost for the front. You've got your hazards, your 4-ways. You've got your rear defrost, recirculation, air conditioning, and sync. Sync just makes it so that the passenger side is the same as the driver's side, and then temperatures again. Below that, we have wireless charging. The wireless charging pad should just set your phone there. As long as your phone is compatible, it will start charging like mine just did. Just like that. Move that out of the way. You do have a little lever here, hold your phone in place. Apple CarPlay port, like I had just talked about, and we have another charging port right there. Our cup holders, these buttons push these out, so if you have a smaller can or cup, you can hold it in a little bit more tightly. We have our dynamic select switch. This is your drive modes. We push this up or down. We'll change the drive modes, as you can see up here. And then all of these buttons are shortcuts to buttons in, or menus in the MBUX screen, except for this one. That button right there brings up the parking button. So as you can see, it says drive forward. It'll actually try to park itself, find a spot for it to park itself in. The other thing this does is allows us access to all of our cameras. So you do have the 360 cameras here, so when you hit that button, if you swipe down, you have access to all these cameras just by swiping up or down. Everything else on here is just a shortcut to different menus in the MBUX screen. Then we've got a couple more chargers in the center here, right there, 2 more USB Type-Cs. And then up top here, we have reading lights, which are located underneath the mirror. That button makes it so the lights don't come on when the doors are open. So we'll turn that off. This is the big overhead lights. This is the lights in the back, and then another reading mirror or light down here. This is to control your sunroof. As you can see, that's all opening up. So press back to open it, to vent it, just press up and it opens, and then if you press back, it actually slides back. As we discussed, the SOS button, the waiver you signed, the SOS function, part of that module that is missing from the car, that's why this sticker is here. Once that gets put back in, that will be active, and then you've got your Mercedes Me button there that connects you to Mercedes Me. So that is kind of a quick overview of the GLA. I hope I went into enough detail to cover most of your basics. If you have any questions or anything, please feel free to give me a call. I'll be more than happy to help. So I really hope you enjoy it.